Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Rob from Heroes Avenue. Happy Friday. I hope you guys are all ready for the weekend, have some fun plans. I know I'm definitely going to have a busy one. In this video, we're going to go ahead and talk about some DC news. We're going to talk a little bit about the SpiderMan situation. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about D23 and whatever just came out of that. But it's going to be kind of more of just a discussion day today. And we're also going to ask the question, are comic book movies just for kids? And you'll see why. We'll talk about that in just a second. But first off, look what came in the mail, guys. I have to mention it to you guys because not a lot of people saw that video, but I went and got this omnibus of The Boys after I saw the first two episodes of the Amazon TV show The Boys. Obviously, it's an adaptation of this comic book, and I am super stoked to read this, especially because you guys who enjoyed the TV show just like I did and think it's probably the greatest stuff that's out on TV right now. You guys have mentioned that the comic book is even better. So I'm super excited to hop on this, and I'm already so behind on all the comic books right now, but this is definitely jumping at the top of the list. Now I got this first omnibus. So if you guys haven't watched The Boys, then you guys better hop on it. It's on Amazon Prime. Definitely worth it. Now, let's get into the first topic for today. And the first topic has to do with Ezra Miller as the Flash. And this story came out maybe a couple days ago now, day or so ago. So as you guys know, there is a lot of chaos surrounding this Flash movie. Director after director after director have left the project due to mostly the dreaded creative differences excuse. The latest director to be sort of attached to this is Andre Muschietti. I think I'm saying his name right. He is the It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 director. Definitely a hot director right now. He is attached to it, though he can't really speak on it right now. We all know that he's gonna, if you watch my previous videos covering the Flash, he's gonna take kind of a break after It Chapter 2, and then maybe he'll be able to talk a little bit more about the Flash. So again, he's not really talking about it for obvious reasons. But Ezra Miller, you know, we know that he wrote a script with Grant Morrison, and in a last-ditch effort to stay on as the role, but now we might have some confirmation that he actually is still playing the Flash. And so I'm over here, multiple sources have reported on this, but I'm over here on IndieWire. It says, is the DCU not really dead? Ezra Miller claims a Flash movie is absolutely confirmed. And I'm not going to read the article over here because you can see in the interview he was doing some sort of makeup shoot with, I think it's called W Korea. And basically they ask him, what projects are you working on next? And among the projects that that he is working on, he mentions Fantastic Beasts 3, he mentions new music with his band and solo work, and he also nonchalantly mentions, yeah, the Flash, absolutely confirmed. So he just threw it out there that he is still confirmed as the Flash. Now, a lot of people, especially on social media and online as well, you know, took the news and ran with it that he is absolutely confirmed as the Flash. And while I do think he is probably going to be the Flash, he's going to stay on as the Flash, I do think we should pump our brakes just a little bit and kind of just brace ourselves for any potential derailment of his role as the Flash. Now, again, I'm stating it here. I do think he's going to still play the role as the Flash, and I'm excited for him to play the role, especially because we all know he's very passionate about it. He was casted by Zack Snyder, and of course Zack Snyder never got to finish his vision with his Justice League movie, so I'd like to see the remnants of Zack Snyder's DC universe to remain. I'd like Henry Cavill to remain. Ben Affleck, we all know, is gone. Gal Gadot is still here. Jason Momoa's career is taken off, and I want Ezra Miller. I want to see what he can do with this Flash project, especially because he's been such a great proponent of the project. He was not great in Justice League, but that wasn't Zack Snyder's Justice League, but he was okay. You know, obviously some of the jokey stuff and the jokey nature of the Flash might have been put in by Joss Whedon. Some of it may have been put in by Zack Snyder. Who knows until we see the Snyder Cut. But but yeah. So with him saying this, a lot of people really are getting really excited that he is staying on board. But we just have to remember the track record of Warner Brothers. Ben Affleck, you know, we've all wanted Ben Affleck to stay as the Batman. At Comic-Con, he lied to our faces and said that he would dance around like a monkey or something to that extent to play you know, Batman for Matt Reeves, and then we all know what happened later on. He dropped out, and he was doing that all to save face for Warner Brothers and not to kind of, I guess, panic the audiences before Justice League premiered. So we know what can happen in this industry, and of course, Ezra Miller as an actor, I'm sure he's super attached, and he's really excited for the role, for a chance to play the role, and it sucks that there's so much drama involved with this production. And you would imagine, especially how popular the character is and how well it's doing on TV right now, you'd imagine that DC wants to make this a priority, and it doesn't seem to be the biggest priority. But again, hopefully with Andy Muschietti, I'm sorry, I can't say his name correctly. With him on board after Chapter 2, hopefully things really start to get rolling. Now, my question to you guys is, are you taking this news at face value? Now, this is coming from Ezra Miller's mouth himself. Do you guys believe him? Do you think he is still on board as the Flash? Or are you kind of a little bit more worried about the whole situation and whether or not it's true? Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Now, I definitely, again, want to mention, I really do hope he is the Flash, but who knows? Now, let's go ahead and move on to kind of a fun topic, DC related kinda, but only in the sense that this is an actor from a upcoming movie, The Joker, or Joker. So look at this article here. Joker star Mark Maron thinks comic book movies are for grown male nerd childs. Now, reading that article, automatically I'm gonna think a lot of you guys are triggered, because I was kind of triggered when I first saw that article. And let's go. I don't know if I can play the clip here, guys. I can't really play the clip because we're probably gonna get a copyright strike or something like that on our YouTube channel, so I'm not gonna play the clip. But if you want to check it out, he was on, so basically Mark Maron, he has a role in the upcoming Joker movie, and he was on Conan O'Brien, and Conan O'Brien, obviously a comedian, and Mark Maron apparently is a comedian. A lot of people thought he was Stan Lee in Endgame, and that's kind of how the conversation was going here. Conan O'Brien talked to Mark Maron, and he was like, hey, a lot of people thought you were Stan Lee in Endgame, and he starts to joke around about it. And he goes, no, I don't even watch these movies, and I don't like them. I think they're for grown male nerd childs. So let me read you the exact quote from that segment. He says, I have some issues with them, and I generally don't like them. I don't want to be bullied into seeing these movies. I'm a grown-up. I'm not 7, and I think those movies are for grown male nerd childs. Now, those were his exact words, but again, you got to take it into context. You got to, in the context of the interview, he was kind of joking, but he seemed very genuine in the fact that he didn't like the movies. And then he also tells the audience, you guys need to own this because you guys own pop culture right now, so you guys can take the hit. He tells them to take the hit. So it's kind of like him stating the fact, like, hey, it's for grown male nerd childs. It's kind of, again, it's kind of degrading to say it like that, and I get his point. Again, it's comic book movies are the greatest thing or the biggest thing in the world right now, and he says, hey man, if I feel that way, take the hit. You guys own pop culture. Now, I guess my question to you is, have you guys ever dealt with a situation where someone has told you, hey man, this comic book movie stuff, that's for kids? And the reason I ask that is because I've actually dealt with the situation a couple times, more actually several times. I've dealt with people who kind of look down upon me because I am so into comic books, reading comic books. I'm not necessarily into reading what they're into, though I am into a lot of different things. But you got people like Bill Maher who are on TV, on television, kind of chastising people for being into comic book movies, saying that they're for children. How do you guys respond to those people? Now, again, I am not triggered by this. I can take it. I can take the hit, and I do have a certain way that I respond to people. But I'm really curious to see how you guys respond. Now, this could be definitely a topic for our reading the comments video, maybe later on this weekend. But we definitely want to. I definitely want to touch back on this subject at a later time. So let me know what you guys think about Mark Maron's comments, and how do you respond to someone who says that that comic book movies are for grown male nerd childs? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. We're going to continue this discussion in one of my next videos that I post. Now, I also want to move on to this next subject. It has to do with the whole Sony Marvel situation. I know Darren did a video about it. I don't feel as, right off the bat, I don't feel as like heartbroken as a lot of people. That's kind of weird to say. I don't feel as heartbroken. First off, I do feel like the studios will eventually work something out, and that I have nothing to base that on. I do think that the studios are going to work something out. There's so much money involved, and since Darren did talk about that, we did start to we do start to get more news out there. Now there's a lot of fake news going around, so I'm not going to really touch on a lot of the subjects, but I will say and offer my own viewpoint. We're not going to talk about this long, but I do think it's Marvel's fault. It's Disney's fault. I am a fan of the SpiderMan movies. Now, the more I think about it, I like the SpiderMan Far From Home a little less than when I initially watched it, but nevertheless, I do like that Spider-Man's a part of this MCU universe, but I'm not as devastated that this whole situation is happening right now. I do think that the fault lies with Disney. Disney is like rarely the good guy in any situation, right? Obviously, since Darren came out and made that video, Stan Lee's daughter went ahead and mentioned that Stan would be on Sony's side because the Disney execs have never had Stan Lee's best interests at heart or showed him full respect. So again, that article came out on TMZ, I think, and Stan Lee's daughter, again, there was a lot of questionable things surrounding her as well, so I don't know who to believe, but I can tell you this: if I owned the property of Spider-Man and Disney came in demanding what was it, 50%, 30%, whatever it is, from 5%, they wanted this huge increase and they wanted to help finance the movie that I own, I would say hell no, especially since I got my own universe that I can build around over here. Again, I'm not as devastated. I do think they're going to work something out, so I don't see, again, all the commotion, maybe they don't, but I have a feeling, especially D23 is going on right now. I think something's going to work out at some point. There's a lot of money on the table for both studios to be made, but I do think the fault lies with Disney. Disney is rarely the good guy in any of these situations. I know, and I'm a fan of Disney movies, so I'm not a fanboy. I'm not going to go, I'm not going to tattoo it on my arm or anything, but I am a fan of Disney movies. I have been since I was a kid, so there's my 2 cents on the subject, and let me know what you guys think, especially since there are updates surrounding the story. That's all we got time for today, guys. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.